Oh, Ice Cube. He was my true daddy when I was growing up with Are We There Yet? 21 Jump Street, next Friday. He was my guy. I'm not joking, I grew up with Ice Cube. He's still my guy, my homie. And there's one movie I actually never seen from him. I watched its sequels, but for some reason, not the first one, and that's Friday. And holy shit, I watched it on a Friday. Yeah, I'll go home. So let's be honest. Back in the 1990s, Hollywood was still racist as shit. We had so many stereotypical race characters, and with the 90s, most black-led movies were gangster movies in the hoods. There were some great ones and bad ones, but Hollywood, not all black people live in the hood. They have normal lives, yes. With today, finally, there are a lot of black-led, Asian-led, Latino-led movies that aren't stereotypical, and that is great. But it took a while, so let's talk about Friday. A refreshing 90s black-led movie where there really wasn't any stereotypical characters. They were real people with real lives, and they had choices and consequences. Oh, by the way, this is a comedy. So it stars Ice Cube, who's playing Craig, Chris Tucker, who definitely wasn't on any island, wink wink, who plays Smokey, and also stars the great late John Witherspoon, who plays Craig's dad, Willie. What a name, Willie. It starts with a neighborhood in Los Angeles with normal people, you know, a scary man sleeping with a knife, crack addict stealing, and kids just sitting down chatting. Then a Ken, the male Karen, sprays them with a water hose, because that's what Ken does. There's Smokey, you know, smoking weed. I mean, his name is Smokey. Then we get a normal family. In the morning, still sleeping, the wife can't stand her husband snoring. Then we get Craig waking up with no worries in the world except and there's a knock on his parents' house door. He opens it, and it's those crazy religious people that go up to people's doors. You know, that shit used to happen to me when I was younger during the summertime. Those annoying religious people used to knock on my mom's house door. Damn, that was annoying. He does what any normal person would say: fuck off and shut the door on them. And this is also what makes this movie so great. There's so many relatable scenes you can relate to, like Craig waking up his sister to ask her to convince her friend to go out with one of his friends, and they bicker over that. So Craig grabs a cereal box and is about to have cereal, and I mean, I'm a fat ass, so I relate when he pulls out a bowl, a huge bowl, and pours all that cereal. I was like, damn, that's me. But he pours cereal, and the worst thing that can happen to a human happens to him. He doesn't have enough milk to fill the bowl. That right there is worse than torture. Because you can't just put the cereal back in the box. No, there's milk over it, so you gotta eat that dry ass cereal. Ugh, nasty. So his dad wakes up and he complains to Willie how they're out of milk, and Willie tells Craig, get a job then, because Craig is 22 with no job and still lives with his parents still. Willie tells him to grow up, be an adult, and stop eating all the food all day. Do something. And Willie does the classic dad move and says how hard he's got it and how simple Craig's life is without having a job. So then his mom does a classic move where Craig sees her cooking breakfast. When she gets done, she tells him that's her breakfast and he can cook breakfast for himself. This beginning is great. It shows how loving and normal Craig's family is. They're not annoying. They're not one-dimensional. They have their own personalities. So Craig cannot catch a break because next he gets a call from a girl he's seeing, and yeah, she's fucking nuts. And she wants to know what girl he's talking to or who he was talking to the other day. And he tells her that he didn't go to this party and didn't talk to no girl, and anything he tries telling her, she's not going to believe him. So he hangs up because you can't resolve craziness. So Craig and his cousin Smokey are best friends, and Craig tells him how he's got fired from his security guard position that he somehow got fired on his day off. Then they take out chairs and sit outside Craig's parents' house, and they see Nia Long's character and they talk about her. Craig asks Smokey why he arrived so early, and Smokey tells him if he knew what happened to Red. That's another one of their friends. And Craig, out of curiosity and being nosy, wants to know why. Smokey tells the other day when he was hanging out with Debo and working on the stolen bikes, Debo stole, that Red arrives asking Debo if he can have his bike back. And yeah, Debo is the scary one of the neighborhood. What do you think happens? Wait, do you hear that? Is that the Jeopardy music? And it sounds like someone's singing it because they didn't want to use the real theme. Oh, here it is, guys. Alright, that's enough. Shush. I'd rather risk getting a copyright strike than you singing. So, yeah, what Smokey says is that Red got knocked out by Debo, and Smokey goes to Red after he's knocked out and says the very classic line, "You got knocked the fuck out." So after Smokey tells Craig that story, Smokey drives him to a mini market where we meet the crackhead. They'll do anything for money, and Smokey and Craig tell him to go away. So after they go to the mini market, where do you think they'll go next? Yep, you guessed it, back to Craig's parents' house. So they see, I'm sorry, ladies, but the neighborhood's hoe. That's who they see, and she's bent over wearing short jeans showing dumb cheeks, watering her plant, and Craig and Smokey do what guys do and look at her. And they say hi to Miss Parker, the neighborhood hoe, and Smokey, being a guy, not a normal guy, what we call a harasser guy, catcalls her, but when she says, "What did you say?" he retracts and gets scared. So they do what they did earlier, sitting down on the chairs in front of the house. So while Smokey smokes some weed, a pastor played by the great Bernie Mac goes up to them, lecturing them how weed's the devil, ladies. And Smokey mocks him, then he shows, yeah, he's a hypocrite, because after Smokey mocks them, the pastor wants to smoke a little bit of that weed until Miss Parker bends down, and that pastor is out to her front yard like the Flash. He became the fastest man alive to get some of Miss Parker's, you know what. They've got nothing to do. So what do? They literally chase after a kid that's been knocking down the trash cans in the neighborhood because they're bored. And then there's one thing that scares them. Scares the neighborhood, and that's Debo. And as soon as Craig sees Debo down the street, they take off their jewelry they're wearing because Debo will steal it from them. They're so scared of him that Smokey agrees to rob Craig's neighbor's house with Debo because he's scared of him. So while that's happening, Miss Parker's husband arrives and catches his wife and that pastor getting that dirty down. And that leads to a great entertainment for Craig. So Craig smokes his first joint. He doesn't have the best first time. I mean, dude, I can relate. Never again. A story time for the future. But he gets paranoid, confused, and guilt because when they decide to make Kool-Aid, of course they run out, and Craig sees a hallucination of Big Worm, the man Smokey stole from. That's when Smokey tells them, yeah, they need to pay him $200 by the night or something bad's gonna happen to them. And reasonably, Craig is pissed. How are they gonna make $200 by the end of the night? Well, they had the perfect opportunity. Craig's crazy-ass girlfriend, oh yes, she was supposed to give him $200 because she's dumb. But as soon as a girl even says a word to Craig, he can say that money goodbye. I'm telling you, dude. Crazy girls ain't worth it. So Willie finds the gun Craig has, and he's disappointed. And he tells his son, guns are for cowards. The only weapon you need is your fist. You may win or lose the fight, but you'll learn from it and move on. Damn, who would think an Ice Cube movie would have such damn poetic scene? No, I'm not crying. So now night is nearing them. They still don't have the money, so Smokey decides to grow some balls and steal money from Debo. And he tries, but that damn crackhead ruins that plan. So what now? Well, Big Worm gets very dramatic and has a drive-by to kill Craig and Smokey. Well, Smokey and Craig get lucky and survive the drive-by by hiding. That's the smartest thing they've done with this movie. But as soon as Craig sees Debo do one thing men should never do, hit a girl, he slaps Nia Long's character, and Craig fights Debo, and after a rough fight, Craig pulls through and knocks the fuck out of Debo. A Smokey, while Debo's unconscious, steals that money. So, what's this movie about? Well, yeah, it's not fun growing up. People stop giving you things. You gotta do things by yourself. Yeah, it's hard, and sometimes frustrating being an adult, but it does get better when you find yourself. You find who you truly are. You find your identity and your passion. Ooh, yeah, that's it, guys. I'm finally back after a long break. This video was supposed to be out during Black History Month, but it'll be on the last day. You know, there's work. Yeah, I've been working a lot. Real life, I'm telling you, being an adult's rough. But yeah, I hope you enjoy this, because Friday is a really great movie. And what I like about it is, yeah, it's not stereotypical. Yeah, they have like one character that's stereotypical, like only one, but the rest feel like real people and like real situations, and it does have consequences. And yeah, somehow they made this movie work by two lazy 20-year-olds sitting in the front yard watching people being nosy. They somehow made it work, and they made it have a deep meaning. And yeah, this movie's great. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Go watch Friday. Yeah, subscribe, like, because it's free and kind. You guys are always awesome. Yeah, buddy. See ya.